doing a lot better, actually.
Oh, that's good news.
So we're doing a lot better, and that can really be attributed to fortification efforts, right? The government is really, really big on pushing fortification, and so that's something we need to applaud, right? Because when policy fails, then there's no need for private sector to rope in. I mean, the private sector does have a very, very, very strong voice, and that's something to also applaud. But we have great policies. Let's first start by acknowledging
that's
that,
really
right?
good. It's rare that we hear that we have great policies and then they're also being implemented. Usually we have great policies and then the implementation side and your things in a lag.
No, this is being implemented. It's quite and there's quite there's a really big push as well to fortify more items. So maybe I can kind of outline. So in Kenya we mandatory. So it's a legal requirement that you must fortify your wheat flour, your maize flour, and your salt and your edible oil.
So they weren't just being nice, because every brand of maize on the shelves is fortified with this, fortified with that. Kumbe, it's a requirement by the government.
It's a requirement by the government, but it costs to fortify.
It does.
And it's not every miller who's fortifying. So it's very important that we also recognize and we celebrate those who are, right? Because fortification, it's a cost on the miller. And if we understand the economic landscape the way it is, every cost means something to them.
It does.
Right? It's already very expensive in regards to operating the economic. They're competing on a shilling. So every shilling counts for them. And so if they're fortifying, remember that when they're fortifying, they're not just fortifying a product. They also have to make sure it's safe. And so for us, even as a program, we are very big on not just fortifying the product, but also making sure that it's safe. And safe means that it's good for consumption. So for example, we have like a real issue in Kenya right now with aflatoxin.
Yes.
And that's a real it's a big threat, right?
Maybe for the layman anaskianga tu aflatoxins kwa news, what exactly is that?
So aflatoxin is a toxin. It's actually a toxin that only affects maize. It's on maize, right? And some pulses, and maybe because it's not well dried. So maybe when the maize has not been well dried, sometimes it's also in the soil. So some areas in Kenya are very prone to aflatoxin. Sometimes it's in the storage, in the handling of that, so it kind of contaminates, and it's really, really bad for the body. It causes kidney failure, and it's terrible. But the thing is, we have such high levels of aflatoxin that before the miller actually accepts a safe product, they've actually had to reject many, many lorries. And remember, so by the time they're getting a product that they can then accept and say this is aflatoxin free, they're probably paying a premium price.
I'm trying to think of it from the miller's perspective. You're rejecting several lorries full of maize because of the aflatoxin levels before you get the one.
Before you get the one.
Yeah.
And then when you do get the one, it's at a premium price, right? And so you buy it at a premium price, you process it, which costs money to do the entire processing, and then now you fortify it.
What are some of the solutions, if we may create or shed light on the same? Because I know there's so many people are combating malnutrition, but within the cities we ignore it and see it as a semi-arid or arid area problem. And even when you see it published, when you see malnutrition published in papers, you definitely see a photo of someone maybe in Turkana or such areas. How best can we be able to combat malnutrition?
I think why food fortification is one of the best things is because it's one of the cheapest and easiest ways to reach the largest number of populations. So if we have the entire population consuming ugali, right, everybody can get access to ugali, whether they're getting it from the shops or whether they're getting it from the posho mill. It depends on where they're getting it from. So then it's fortified at source. The disadvantage we currently have in Kenya is that a lot of the posho millers do not fortify. One, and then number two, remember that a lot of the so we have in our program we have one of our partners. So we work with various partners. We have one of our partners, Sanku, that's working with the posho millers at the bottom of the pyramid to be able to ensure it's not just people who walk into the supermarket, people who get a packeted flour that have access to fortified foods, right? They're trying to make sure that everybody, even at the base of the pyramid, has access to that, and so they're working on that.
Because